segmen Docchi anime for Miteiru. Okay, so anime yang kita akan anime pertama yang kami bincangkan adalah Blue Lock atau Buru Roku. Go ahead, SHAZ. Hit them.
Okay, so masa aku start tengok Blue Lock ni kan, I have zero idea what it was other than the fact dah baca summary tu, oh this is going to be a story about football, and then that's it. Aku tak baca much about dia punya synopsis or anything kan. So macam like, okay lah, let's give it a try. Kebetulan sekarang tengah World Cup. So macam okay lah, I'll give this a football ni anime chance lah. Sebaru 5-6 episod kot when I first started. So bila sekali tengok tu, first match belum apa-apa, main character punya team dah kalah. Aku macam like, ni apa benda ni kan. You know, and the team was like, there was nobody from the team that they introduced. Cuma the main character. And I was like, ini bukan macam cerita shonen, you know, sports team yang underdog akan belajar balik ke apa ke? Is it or is it not? So after halfway through the first episode, then they introduce us to the whole concept of Blue Lock. It is a training camp. Sebab dia punya konsep very simple. Jepun right now boleh qualify ke World Cup tapi tak boleh menang World Cup. Disebabkan kenapa? They are being held back by the same thing that is making them strong, tapi tak boleh menang towards end, which is dia orang punya mindfulness. Dia orang jenis yang kalau kita tengok dia orang main lepas ini football game kan, wah dia take all the sampah semua ni kan. Dia orang selalu give way ke orang, very courteous and all that. So as a team, they become very strong. Sebab dia orang, okay, kalau ada orang open, aku pass kat sana, aku pass kat sini. But because you are playing too much into the team and there is nobody taking the initiative, dia menggunakan example macam Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar and all these big names kan. So because of that, Japan cannot progress to become the world champions. So whether that is true or not, I do not know. Tapi kebetulan I tengok dia punya uniform is the Blue Lock punya uniform. The current World Cup ni, they're using a Blue Lock punya inspired punya uniform. So I'm not sure if that is the case lah. But anyway, about the anime itself, ada orang KUDO mention kan that some people have compared it to Squid Game. Basically, without much spoilers, it is a training camp where you akan fight for the only one spot, guaranteed spot untuk mewakili Jepun in dia orang punya World Cup punya team in the future. So
is it because they already have like 10 people out there, or they have other Blue Locks outside this particular Blue Lock? You know what I mean? They need 11 people.
Belum ada lagi any further information on this dalam the anime. Manga I tak tahu lah. I tak sentuh manga apa. I have zero knowledge on this. So from the anime itself, they are looking for the greatest striker that the country can produce. And dia punya bukannya training kita passing bola kita ni, tak. They will throw macam mana you have to find out what makes you the best striker, and then you have to survive dia punya challenges. Nah, dia bukanlah macam Squid Game, kau kena tarik tali mati, lari ikut api, tak ada. There's none of that. It is all actual football punya challenges lah.
I see.
But the way it is done in such a way dia macam dia break down your perception of what makes a good striker, or rather what Japan thinks makes a good striker, and then they challenge you balik. So secara tak langsung, it is a social commentary on Japan punya technique, on how they groom players, how they create players. Whereas the Blue Lock punya camp, I've seen things which macam like, oh, that is the classic shonen. Kita ada big team, go together. After a while, dia makan sekali. So they understand what teamwork is, you know? And then they had one or two girls macam like, wow, they had this in the anime. It's like mind-blowingly thing. Dia punya plot twist yang macam kau tak sangka langsung tu. Coming from people who are put in a scenario where only one can survive. Bukan matilah, but because the condition of joining the Blue Lock, kalau you gagal, you are disqualified from the national team forever.
Yes. Apa kategori The Great interestingly make the same comment. Kalau gagal, in fact tak boleh masuk mana-mana kelab bola lepas ni pun selama-lamanya. That's it.
Aku tak tahu about kelab bola lah, but national team confirm lah.
Okay. So, Andri, have you seen this?
Actually, it was not even on my
Under your
radar,
radar.
because one, I don't like
Semua jantan.
yeah, it's soccer. You have 11 teams of guys.
Football, soccer.
So there's no MILF or lolly waifus to be expecting, so I avoided it. And in soccer, I'm not a big fan of soccer. I used to be a big fan of soccer, but I grew tired of it because of certain factors.
Yeah, the fact that you use the word soccer that tells me something else. I mean,
soccer or football, whatever you call it lah.
I mean, just nak tambah to what Shaz was saying. I've not seen it, but very interesting. The way that you described it. One thing kepada penonton yang kurang arif, di Jepun, masyarakat Jepun adalah masyarakat kolektivis. Dia tak macam masyarakat Barat yang individualistic. So basically, if you are an individual trying to be different, they'll shun you. This is something that diorang pupuk dari kecil lagi, macam masa sekolah elementary, when they teach you to be people in which, like for example, ni memang kami going off tangent on a tangent lagi, tapi just to explain what SHAZ was going about. When they have a good team, they're a good team because diorang help each other, nakama dan sebagainya. Okay, because benda macam ni pun pernah diportray dalam media film. Kepada mereka yang pernah tengok, angka-angka tahulah wayang ni, Black Rain dibintangi Michael Douglas dan Andy Garcia. And for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the director, which I'm so embarrassed to say. Anyway, so polis di Osaka, diorang heran dekat polis New York. Dia kata, you should think of the team, you should think of the entire group. I mean, it benefits the entire force. So you can't act on your own, that kind of thing. So I think what Blue Lock is trying to, from what Isha is trying to say lah, Blue Lock ni macam, let's think outside the box lah. I think our usual collectivist attitude, whilst it made a great team, and like they say, we've never won a World Cup because we don't have that extra edge. So anyway, itu dah melilau jauh sangat lah. Tapi Blue Lock ni diadaptasi dari manga shonen terbitan Kodansha oleh penulis Kaneshiro Muneyuki dan mangaka Nomura Yusuke yang mula diterbitkan pada tahun 2018. Jika anda mengikuti Twitter, especially that of Blue Lock dan juga Nomura Yusuke mangaka, banyaklah illustration by recently lah, masa lepas dia orang menang Germany itu kan, Nomura Yusuke melukis satu image dari Blue Lock with a character wearing the current jersey. Apparently saya look it up, Nomura-san dia tak design the Japanese, the current Japanese strip yang ada origami tu. So it is designed, it is used in the manga or whatever, but it wasn't him who designed it for Adidas. If anybody in the chat can counter this, by all means so, but we need to see evidence. Yeah. So siri anime ni diterbitkan oleh studio 8-bit dan diarah oleh Watanabe Tetsuaki yang juga pernah mengarah Haikyuu. So I guess we've got somebody who's done sports anime. Dan juga mempunyai 24 episod. So at the moment, I think it's episode 7 or 8. So kita boleh expect another 16 kot. Tapi tak sure lah whether or not they're going to take a break for the next score or whether it's going to continue on in the winter. But there's been no announcements whatsoever. So it does look like it might be continuing on in January. So that's Blue Lock. Kita pula ke Andri dengan anime pilihan beliau, The Eminence in Shadow atau Kage no Jitsuryu Kusha ni Narita Kute. Okay, go ahead, Andri.
Okay, Eminence in the Shadow is about Chunibyo who got isekai to a world of magic and become that world's dark anti-hero, basically.
Sekejap, tell people what a Chunibyo is.
Chunibyo is someone who believes into bullshit. Anime bullshit, yeah. He believes in his anime powers, his anime justice, and
Kepada penonton di rumah, yang ANRI describe ni, ini dia describe orang betul tau. Dia bukan describe karakter dalam anime. So maknanya macam saya keluar pergi kerja, kau jangan kacau aku akan guna kage bucin jutsu berjadah semua. Dia ingat dia betul. Itu Chunibyo. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Ya. Dia kalau gaduh dengan bos dia kan, tiba-tiba dia cakap, Masegyo Rasengan, something like that.
Bukan Rasengan, Mangekyo Sharingan.
Masegyo Sharingan. Dan dia ambil pembaris kan. Behold, pedang api saya yang bersuhu 15 juta Celsius tau.
And kepada siapa yang tengok komisan, kawan dia nama Naka-Naka tu, she's a Chunibyo yang mata ada patch tu. Pasal dia ingat dia ada dragon power. Anyway, sambung Andri, go ahead.
Okay, the story is like this. The first episode and the second episode is very different. The first episode takes place on this guy namanya his new name is Sid Kageru. But in the first episode he has a normal Japanese name, and the whole episode is taking place on him rescuing dia punya schoolmate. He wanted to become a superhero in the original world, dunia nyata, and he was successful as a superhero in the first episode, rescuing his schoolmate. But he realized that being born in this world kan, he is limited in terms of power. He said, now I'm training myself all the time, but I can only beat someone with military background. But if someone who drops a nuclear bomb at me, right, I will not survive. Or if someone uses a tank, I'm fucked. So he realized.
Is he in a normal world or is he in a fantasy world?
The first episode takes in the normal world. At the end of the first episode, he got killed.
Lori, the truck kun?
Yes. This is an isekai, of course. So it's very funny.
Oh, it's funny lah. Okay.
It's funny. It's like an overlord now. Okay. On the second episode, we see that he was reborn into this world of magic, and he retained his knowledge from the old world. So dia dapat lah. So he had a potential on magic lah, because he is born knowing that the world has magic. And he knows magic through all the animes he has seen. So the concept of making fire magic is simple to him. What he can actually do is actually enhance that magic. Like katakan, if you want to learn fire magic, it consists about heat now. But he knows. But he was a top student in his previous life, not because he's a genius or something, but he researched a lot of things because he trains himself macam Batman lah. So he can actually has a spell called I Am Atomic. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is like episode 4 or 5. Dia boleh guna nuclear magic. I'm like, okay. So you know this guy is very overpowered now. He knows how to enhance his muscle, knows how to create armor through dia ternak slime. Macam slime from Dragon Quest, you have that metal slime.
Okay.
Where you kill, ada banyak ASP. He not only killed the slime and get he used the corpse as a suit now. So like an Iron Man now. So he has a lot of references in the story now.
So dia ni very creative with magic.
It's a creative form of a lot, except for a lot of difference. Instead of one albedo, you have
lots. Dari gambar kita ramai.
Yeah, he's like, I only hire he hires only girls, which I appreciate. Ada yang beast girl, ada yang vampire, ada elves, curse humans, whatever it is lah. They all were rescued by him. That was one of the punya syarat for recruitment, because if they were captured and got rescued, they would be born a sense of loyalty. Tak akan tanya soalan besar sangat lah. His followers are called the Shadow Garden. Okay, and there's a lot of them. The official ones, I think there's like 10 of them. Each of them kuasa kuat-kuat, macam like those floor guardians from Overlord. They are very powerful. If they are not powerful, they are highly skilled, because one of them actually is a billionaire entrepreneur, like a Bruce Wayne person, but she's so clumsy, she always falls on her face and the ass always pops up. It's a running joke. Yeah, and there's a lot of ass shots in this show. So if you're into booties, right, this is the show for you. So they all because of their loyalty and how you say, gratitude towards the hero, he calls himself the Shadow. He said they actually macam almost worship him as a deity, like Ainz. Sasuga Shadow Sama. And this guy, whatever he does kan, the girls will anticipate kan, it is actually a well thought plan. Padahal it's on everything that he does kan is actually to sate his Chunibyo appetite tau.
Okay.
Like he purposely get himself into trouble so he can actually show off to himself.
So in this world, siapa antagonist dia?
There's an enemy called the cult of evil or something like that lah. He just made up the name, and surprisingly there's one existing, so it works out lah.
So did
everything
he
is
cult when he was alive, or the cult he created in front of the girls nak bagi?
The first girl they rescued kan is called Alpha. Nama dia Alpha. He called her Alpha. The real name dah hilang because she doesn't even remember. She was turned into this monster.
Okay.
And then when she asked questions kan, who did this to me? She said, they created a name, the cult of something, and it's surprisingly kan, after she served him for years kan, there is a cult of something now. So kita, oh shit, apa it works or whatever. Oh fuck.
So this is a coincidence lah. Dia bukan jenis orang yang macam say something and then it materializes kan lah.
He is half-assing thing and things happen.
Wow.
Yeah, he purposely has a normal life and the shadow life. No shadow life, he just half-assing and things go as it is. And in his normal life, he just wants to become a mob character.
I see.
So he just rapat dengan karakter yang he thinks yang macam main character in the game. Macam like the school president kan is a girl or princess. So he got hired. He purposely got himself hired as her boyfriend because she wanted to escape from being someone's fiancé. And he got chosen because he was the most mob of the mob, or yang paling tak impressive. So everything he does happens, and everything he does to avoid also happens. He doesn't want to become a mob character, but he suddenly becomes the attention of the whole thing lah. So it's very funny. It's very dark comedy. This show, I think, is around 12 episodes. I wish there are going to be more episodes like Overlord, but who knows? There's a lot of potential for this show.
How many episodes dah you tengok?
I think 7 or 8, something like that lah.
And boleh tengok kat mana?
It's not available on Netflix. So if you're watching for Aiki, keep an eye out for it lah. I'm not sure other platforms lah, but all the other good platforms, the free ones. Pandai lah.
Pandai lah. Shaz dah tengok benda ni, or you've not seen this, or not
heard of it? I've heard of it. Tak pernah nampak.
No. I pernah dengar, tapi obviously it was like, isekai tak apalah. Bukanlah macam tak nak tengok, tapi macam since you mentioned it,
isekai is 50-50 tau. It's either very good or very bland.
Yeah, there's not many good isekais lah. Anyway, so siri isekai Chunibyo ni diadaptasi dari light novel oleh Aizawa Daisuke yang mula diterbitkan pada tahun 2018, dan anime ini diterbitkan oleh studio Nexus. Not really have heard of it. Diarah oleh Nakanishi Kazuya yang pernah mengarah ReZero dan Trinity 7. So I guess with Trinity 7 you can expect the harem element in this. Dan according to my anime list, it's got 20 episodes. So it's just gonna be more than what you thought, Andri. So hopefully it might spill over into even, because dia start lambat kan in this season. Dia tak ada macam start bulan 1 bulan awal bulan 10, dia start macam lambat. So
it's start around fall season. So
I know, but fall season dia punya all the start dates are staggered, macam like My Hero dengan Spy start first as early as possible, and then like Chainsaw Man dengan Bleach start in the middle of October. But anyway, I'm going to quickly talk. Okay, I'm going to be a bit greedy. I'm talking about 2 because we're supposed to have Arif here, so blame him. No, kidding, Arif. So first one is Urusei Yatsura. Now, kepada siapa yang umur tua macam saya, should have heard of this anime dan manga. But I have to be honest, I've not seen it, although I'm aware of who she is. So dia dari manga betul-betul komedi cinta, rom-com, sci-fi bermula in 1978 by Takahashi Rumiko. She's a famous mangaka with judul-judul suka ramai seperti Ranma Half, Maison Ikoku dan Inuyasha, just to give you some lah. And all of these titles are really good titles, well loved by a lot of people. So anime ni merupakan readaptasi. Sebanyak 23 episod. Interestingly, it's by David Production, which is the studio that makes JoJo. Okay, so don't expect her to do poses, don't expect the drawing to look like JoJo. It's just the same studio. Tapi ada setengah elemen JoJo yang saya nampak lah dalam ni sikit. Tapi tak adalah muka bibir tebal ke pun tak adalah. Tapi and today dia ada 7 episod disiarkan oleh Fuji TV di Jepun dan laman stream High Dive. So saya tak sure kat Malaysia boleh tengok kat mana, tapi but you need to find out. So anime asal Urusei Yatsura ni from studio Kitty Films, Pero dengan Dean, was shown between 81 and 86. So masa tu uncle zaman sekolah rendah, between sekolah rendah dengan form 4. Dan dia yang one piece of trivia pasal Urusei Yatsura ni, pengarah dia was Oshi Mamoru. That's why he sank his teeth in directing and he became famous. Oshi Mamoru ni, kepada anda yang minat anime klasik, antara pengarah anime agak tersohor. Dia directed Jinro, the Pet Labor TV series and films. So he was part of the creative group called Headgear. So kalau anda pernah tengok Pet Labor, dia tulis Headgear. Dan Ghost in the Shell 1 and 2. So premise cerita Urusei Yatsura ni agak simple. Di mana Ataru, seorang pelajar sekolah menengah yang bermata keranjang,
the male hapusai.
Okay, dipilih untuk menyelamatkan dunia dengan bermain kejar-kejar atau main tag dengan Princess Lam, anak puteri kepada raja makhluk angkasa lepas yang nak invade dunia ni. Raja makhluk tak betul. Dia kata kalau kau menang game ni, kita orang tak invade berbumi. Oleh kerana salah faham, Lam menyangka Ataru akan mengawini beliau jika Ataru memenangi permainan tag ini. Dan ini menimbulkan kemarahan teman perempuan Ataru yang bernama Shinobu. So pada saya, lawak jenaka yang dibawa watak-watak Urusei Yatsura ni agak dated juga, pretty slapsticky. So anda kalau boleh bayangkan original Doraemon, kalau boleh tengok episod-episod yang betul-betul lagi 70-an tu, rasa dia macam tu lah, joke-joke uncle. Tu pasal uncle suka. Mungkin sesuai untuk uncle-uncle mengimbau kendangan zaman muda bila nak tengok cerita ni. So watak Lam ni dilakonkan seiyu jelita dan seksi Uesaka Sumire, yang juga pelakon untuk Nagatoro. And she mahu nafas baru, obviously, but she's quite good in maintaining to how Lam speaks. Lam ni dia maintain nada original. She speaks with a dialect from Sendai. Which is a city, this prefecture north east of Tokyo. So it's all so pretty much because that's how Rumiko Takahashi wrote her, and that's how the seiyu asal Hirano Fumi, yang sekarang berumur 67 tahun, that's how she voiced Lam. And another piece of trivia, Hirano Fumi is in this readaptation. Dia cameo dia sebagai ibu kepada Lam. So manakala Moroboshi Ataru, the guy, dilakonkan Kamiya Hiroshi, which is the actor for Levi Ackerman from Shingeki no Kyojin. He's Araragi from Monogatari, and he's also Trafalgar Law from One Piece. So I really recommend this. Okay, I know mungkin kita orang mana layan benda-benda lama ni, tapi for me it's 7 out of 10. Okay, for kerana lawak santai dan juga saya uncle. Tapi kalau interestingly kalau tengok dekat Mel, score dia 7.33, not too bad lah. Tak adalah kecundang ke apa. Tapi mana tahulah mungkin kerana uncle-uncle dulu sana voted it on Mel, tak tahulah kan. Tapi Urusei Yatsura, this worth checking out.
Ada.